Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are in the 9th chapter. Verse number? So 11th chapter, verse number?
I don't know, Mataji. वैष्णव प्रभु आप बता सकते हैं तो बताइए. वेंकट प्रभु बता सकते हैं
It
तो बताइए.
is,
हरे कृष्णा. वेंकट प्रभु बताइए.
it is 65th verse. 60. Yeah, 1 minute, I'll tell you. Okay. It is 70th verse. That how Ishwar Puri came in disguise in Navadvip. And 71st verse speaks about he was overwhelmed with love for Krishna. He was most merciful and he was dear to Krishna. So 71 verse, chapter 11, Chaitanya Bhagavata. Krishna rase parama vivala mahashaya ekanta Krishnera priya ati daya maya. He was so overwhelmed with love for Krishna. He was most merciful and he was dear to Krishna. So here glorification of Ishwar Puri is going on. That how Krishna is the topmost. And Krishna is the object of all the 5 rasas. This also we had done. And there, how Ishwar Puri, he is nourished by Madhvendra Puri. That is by the topmost of all the rasas. That is Parakiya Bhava Rasa. Is manifest in Ishwar Puri. So he was wearing the dress of a Mayavat sannyasi, Ekadanda sannyasi. That is why nobody could recognize him. And this was also by the will of providence. So when he arrived at the house of Advaita Acharya, Tana Veshe, Tane Keha, Chinite Na Pare, Daive Gya Uthilena Advaita Mandire. So 72nd verse speaks about, and nobody recognized him at the house of Advaita Acharya. Although Sri Navadvip Mayapur was inhabited by many Brahmanas and persons attached to proper codes of conduct, Sri Puripad arrived at the house of Sri Advaita Acharya, who was the leader of the Vaishnavas. He went there because persons like to associate with like-minded people. And especially since Advaita Acharya was also a disciple of Madhvendra Puri. Therefore, knowing him to be a god brother, Ishwar Puri went to his house and thus proved his spontaneous attachment to his spiritual master. So this verse speaks about the love between the god brothers, god sisters. God brothers, God sisters, they have one spiritual master, and that is how they are the brother and sister, God brothers, God sisters. What is this? God brother, God sisters. They have the relationship in the spiritual world. That means on the spiritual platform, they are brothers and sisters. So that means they should have so much of love among each other. And that has been taught here, how Advaita Acharya is also disciple of Madhvendra Puri, Ishwar Puri is also disciple of Madhvendra Puri, and that is why to exhibit that love towards the god brother, Advaita Acharya went and stayed at, Ishwar Puri went and stayed at Advaita Acharya's house. Ekhane Advaita Seva, Korena Vashiya, Sammukhe Vashila, Bada Sankuchita Haya. He humbly sat down close to where Advaita Acharya was performing the puja. Vaishnavera Teja Vaishnavete Nalukaya Punha Punha Advaita Tahana Pane Chaya. So who can hide the effulgence of a Vaishnava? Vaishnava's presence itself glorifies the place, makes the place effulgent. So even though Ishwar Puri was hiding himself to be shown as a Vaishnava, he came in the garb of a Mayava sannyasi, but he was so effulgent. Advaita Acharya just looked at him again and again. Advaita Bolena, Bapa tumi kona jana, Vaishnava sannyasi tumi, hinalaya mana. Now Advaita Acharya said, "Oh my dear Prabhu, who are you? I think you are a Vaishnava sannyasi." Even though he was carrying Ekadanda, but still here Advaita Acharya, He is Trikala Drishti. He knows. He says that, who are you? Your reference shows that you are a Vaishnava sannyasi. So now here the Vaishnava sannyasi is explained as follows. The Karmi sannyasis follow the Smriti principles of the renounced order of life and accept Tridanda. In other words, they travel alone. The Jnani sannyasis accept Ekadanda. And while cultivating the study of Vedanta, they practice 6 sadhanas like peacefulness, self-control, tolerance, and achieve the desired results. The Vaishnava sannyasis, however, completely give up the desire for material sense enjoyment and desire for renouncing sense enjoyment and engage in the unalloyed service of Lord Hari. The principles of giving up both material sense enjoyment and renunciation can be found in them. So here, very nicely it has been given. Who is a Karmi sannyasi? They carry 3 danda. They accept the renounced order of life. They are Karmi sannyasi. That means they give up everything. Now here 3 danda refers to, again, karmana masa manasa vacha. They just give up all the activities itself. And they just want to be alone. That is karma sannyas. Jnani sannyasis, they try to inculcate 6 principles and want to merge with the Brahman, Ekadandi. Now what is Vaishnava sannyasi? They give up the material sense enjoyment. At the same time, they give up even renunciation also. They are not interested in renunciation. That means they want to utilize everything in Krishna's service. They don't want to just go alone. They want to take everybody with them. They want to cultivate everything in Krishna's service. Hari Sambandhi Vastuna, everything. They are not mumukshu parityaga. They are anasaktasya vishyan. Yatharham upayunchata. Anasaktasya. They don't have any asakti. That is why they can utilize everyone and everybody in Krishna service. They don't have any attachment to a particular thing. They don't have any attachment to their family. At the same time, they know how to utilize in everybody in Krishna's service. So a Vaishnava sannyasi can be a grahastha also. A Vaishnava sannyasi can be a child also. Vaishnava sannyasi can be a brahmachari, can be in the sannyas order also. These 4 ashramas doesn't recognize or doesn't give the recognition for a bhakta. They are just 4 ashramas. But real qualification is to become a Vaishnava sannyasi, sattanyasa. Sannyasi means sattanyasa, in the search of absolute truth, giving up material propensity. Not to be attached to the matter, at the same time, utilize the matter. It is very difficult and it's not so easy. It is a very scientific process. Because in the due course of the senses coming in contact with the sense objects, there is every chance to get attached. And when the sense objects start giving pain, then there is an every chance to give up the sense objects. That means to renounce the sense objects. So now, simultaneously not attached and simultaneously renounced is very difficult. Simultaneously not renunciation, simultaneously not attachment, not giving up also, not attached also. That means utilizing in Krishna service. So that is why bhakti is jnana vijnana yoga. Very clearly in the 9th chapter, Krishna says, this is the Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya. This is a very Guhya Jnanam. Idam te Guhyatamam. Jnana Vijnanam. Both the things are there. They are just not Jnanis, they are Vijnanis. Bhakti is a Vijnana, Vishesha Rupena Jnana, how to utilize the knowledge in Krishna service. So Vaishnava sannyasis are 3 dandi sannyasis, but 3 dandi sannyasis here refers to karmana manasa vacha. If they are in the sannyas order, they carry 3 danda. They don't carry ekadanda, they carry 3 danda. Here 3 danda refers to karmana manasa vacha. With my mind, with my activities, with my body, I'll serve Krishna. Now, a grahastha may not be carrying any danda. Doesn't matter. Danda doesn't qualify someone. It is the consciousness which qualifies. So he can be a small boy, young boy. He can be a young girl. He can be a child. But if the consciousness is completely to serve Krishna, then he is a Vaishnava, sannyasi in any order of life. They're situated in the conception found in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.23.57. Etam cha asthaya paratmanishtham adhyasitam purvatamai maharshivi aham tarishyami taparam tamo mukundangri nishevayaiva. So here it is said, I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nescience by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This is approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the God, to the Lord, Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of God. So this is a very important verse where it said, Etam ta asthaya paratmanishtham, let me be fixed up in devotion service. Adhyasitam purvatamai maharshivi, just let me follow the footprints of our acharyas. On our own, we know nothing. Sometimes we think, there are so many intuitions which come in my heart. Nothing comes. We have to just follow whatever acharyas say. One should not think that we are so elevated that Krishna has started speaking to us. It can happen, no doubt. But one should always understand we are just a jivatma, a small jivatma. We just have to follow Mahajanam yena gatas sapantaha. Very clearly it has been given. Adhyastam purvatamair maharshibhi. There are Mahan rishis who have completely controlled their senses, were peaceful, tolerant. They could achieve the desired results. They have done so much of sadhana by engrossed in the sense gratification just because we have just come in bhakti. We cannot just proclaim that we have become so great. No. We are just followers of our acharyas. We're just dasana. That is why Shastra Jnana is very, very important. If Shastra Jnana is not there, people think that, sometimes it may click also. What happens is, a lot of speculation a person does. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it does not click. When it clicks, he starts thinking, see, I told this is going to happen. And then he starts considering himself slowly, some great personality. To such an extent, when it comes to, sometimes starts thinking also, that's the highest sense gratification. Starts thinking that he has become God. That is why Vaishnava sannyasis, they come in the disciplic succession. Jnani sannyasis, karmi sannyasis, they also renounce. They also try to get some knowledge. They are mental speculators. That is the difference. Vaishnava sannyasis are never mental speculators. Even today, Guru Maharaj reads Prabhupada books. Even today, the great disciples of Guru Maharaj consult Maharaj. So it's an order. It is like there are so many grahasthas who have taken up the renounced order of life, even being there in the grahasthashram, utilizing every strength in Krishna's service, consulting their Shiksha Gurus, Diksha Gurus. This is the process. This is the process. And there lies humility. Humility is judged not by just words. Humility is judged by our action. The more we are dependent on our acharyas, the more we are dependent on our disciplic succession, there lies humbleness. The more we are referring or taking shelter of our mental speculation, there lies arrogance. So what is humility, what is arrogance can be understood. Just take shelter of The disciplic succession. Every Shiksha Guru has his Shiksha Guru. Every student has a Shiksha Guru. I say the Shiksha Guru also has his Shiksha Guru. That Shiksha Guru also has his Shiksha Guru. This is disciplic succession. It is not just the limit. It flows, flows, flows upwards till it comes to the point of Brahmaji taking guidance from Krishna in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Similarly, in the Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmipati Samarambhan, Natiyamana Matyavan, Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. There is also a disciplic succession. Every disciple has a guru, guru has his guru, and in this way it goes to Lakshmipati, that is Krishna, giving knowledge to Lakshmi. Even in Rudra, even in Kumara, you have the disciplic succession. So disciplic succession decides our humility. The more we are dependent, this dependency is very good. If we think that we are independent, there lies arrogance. There lies, oh, I am independent. I can do whatever comes in my mind. I am the best judge. If this sort of thoughts come, their dependency on the mercy of the spiritual master, dependency on the mercy of our disciplic succession, dependency on the mercy of Krishna is kept aside. That is why here very important verse, Adhyasitam Purvatamair Maharshivi, Aham Tarishyami Durantaparam. In this way, because of the surrenders taken to our acharyas, it is very easy to cross the ocean, which is actually very difficult. Durantaparam. Tamo Mukundangri Nishevayaiva. Then a person understands what is bhakti. B for bhakti, it can be easily said. But understanding what is bhakti requires a lot of tolerance and patience. Requires a lot of thrashing. Requires a lot of surrenders. By the mercy of Sri Madhavendra, the Advaita Acharya was able to recognize his god brother. That time there was no WhatsApp messages. No, now the initiation has happened. Initiation name is so and so. After messaging also many times we forget the initiation name also. That time when they used to meet, they used to identify themselves, they used to introduce themselves. Now, without even getting introduced also, Advaita Acharya could recognize that he is God brother. Because such type of ecstatic love cannot happen without the mercy of Madhavendra Puri. Advaita Acharya, Prabhu, played the role of a householder. As a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, Advaita Acharya was a householder. While Ishwar Puri was a Vaishnava sannyasi. Just see. Acharya did not take much time to recognize him as his god brother. It doesn't matter whether you are a householder or whether you are a sannyasi. Now, Madhavendra Puri is common for both. But both are great disciples. Advaita Acharya and Ishwar Puri. Just because he's a householder, it is not that he is in a lower position. So identifying with the position is an aparadha. Advaita Acharya is chanted, everybody is chanting Advaita Acharya's name every day. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. If you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also a householder. Afterwards took sannyas. Nityananda Prabhu is also a householder. Advaita Acharya is also a householder. Shivas is also a householder. Gadadhar Pandit, I have to check. Somebody can tell me whether householder or sannyas. But you see, it is not the order which decides bhakta. First thing we have to hammer in our head of this thing. Sometimes we think, oh, in ISKCON, they are sannyasis, they are all great people. There may be a small boy who has so much of renunciation, who has so much of tolerance. That person is more greater than a sannyasi who may be hankering for so many facilities. So there may be a boy who may not be bothered at all for his bodily comforts. So that boy can be a greater sannyasi than anybody else. So sannyasi means sattanyasa, giving up sense gratification, utilizing everything in Krishna's service, and being humble towards everyone. That is most important. बोले न ईश्वरपुरी आमी शुद्रधमा देखी बारे आइला न तुम्हारा चरणा. Now he wants Ishwarpuri replying to see. Ishwarpuri is not at all puffed up that he is a sannyasi. Now he says, I am lower than a Shudra. I have come here to see your lotus feet. To see the powerful verses. This shows Vaishnava sannyasi's qualification is humility. He doesn't identify himself with position. But if you see karma sannyasis, jnani sannyasis, they'll call each other Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Why? They will tell each other that you are Narayana, I am Narayana. Now don't think that who are chanting Om Namo Narayana, they are all, we are not talking about that. Om Namo Narayana is the Ashtakshara mantra, which is chanted by every Vaishnava sannyasis in Sri Sampradaya. Here, when they are addressing themselves as you are Narayana, I am Narayana, there itself shows how much pride they have in identifying themselves with God. So they are karma sannyasis, gyari sannyasis. Just because they have achieved perfection in their sense control, then they think that they have become so great. They have tolerance. They can achieve desired results. They got siddhis. And when they get this, they think that they have become very great. They become God. On the contrary, Vaishnava sannyasis are very, very humble. They're always surrendered to their spiritual master. Now here, he's identifying himself Shudra Adhama. Not only I'm Shudra, he's not telling himself Shudra also. He's saying Shudra Adhama. I am lower than even Shudra. At least Shudra there comes in the Varna Ashrama. In the Varnas, in the four Varnas, Shudra is also one of the Varna. But he says, I am Adhama, even lower than the Shudra. It is to be understood that when Ishwarpuri referred himself to Shudra Adhama, it was a sign of humility. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, a self-realized Vaishnava in particular never identifies himself as belonging to the worldly Varnashram society. Again, a very powerful word. You can say a statement. A Vaishnava, a self-realized Vaishnava will never say, I am a grasta, I am a woman, I am a man. No, I am just servant of the servants of the servants of the servants of the devotees. That is the real identification. That is why early morning when you do the worship, the first thing what we have to say is, Naham Vipro Nachanarapatir Napi Vaishyo Nashudro Naham Varni Nachagrahapatir Navanasto Yatirva Kintu Prodhya Nikila Paramananda Purnamrta Abde Gopi Bhartur Padakamalero Dasa. So this verse is learning for today. Every devotee should know this verse and every devotee should chant this verse so that this is a verse which says, I am not a grahastha, I am not a brahmachari, I am not a vanaprasthi, I am not a sannyasi, I am not a brahmana, I am not a kshatriya, I am not a vaishya, I am not a shudra. Who am I? My identification is I'm just servant of the servants of the devotees. That should be an identification. And that is very important. At the same time, when a devotee serves, he should, when a devotee is trained, how is he trained? Why Srila Prabhupada has introduced Brahminical culture in the society? Why Diksha for a Brahman Diksha is given? So somebody can say, this is completely contradictory. Somebody is given Brahman initiation so that he maintains the cleanliness to serve Krishna. Simple. He maintains the purification or purity to serve Krishna. Again, the real identification is servant only. But the Brahman initiation is given so that one maintains the purity. He has to utilize his body in the service of Krishna. That is why he has to maintain the purity. like taking bath and all these things, is maintained. We are the sadhakas. We have to maintain. So further of this, we'll read tomorrow. Purport. Every line of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is actually a bullet. Every statement is a bullet, which should actually pierce our consciousness so that we can purify our consciousness and we can serve Krishna in a more better way. Every devotee hankers to serve Krishna. But there are certain weeds which grow beside our consciousness. These weeds are unwanted plants which has to be thrown out. And that can be done only by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who can pierce inside and just slap us. Srila Prabhupada always surrendered to his spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada always says that, he used to say, my Acharya has brought all of you to me. So he never used to say that I am responsible for you. No, he used to say, my Acharya has brought all of you to me. And I take it as a personal responsibility to take everyone back to God. Prabhupada used to say, catch my dhoti. So what is the meaning? Just follow the sampradaya. Hare Krishna. Any doubt? A small announcement, all the normal classes will start since I'm not be going to Nagpur now. There are certain emergencies which I have to take care here. So all the normal classes like Kalyan classes will be there tomorrow. Sunday afternoon, as such afternoon Sunday feast is also there. It also will be there. In 20 minutes, 15 minutes, which every devotee is to discuss, that will be there. I'll be coming back by 12:30 and we'll have a Sunday feast class. Evening Bhagavad Gita class, online will start. Both onlines. That is 4:30 to 5:30. Again, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 2 online classes will start. So till now, holiday time was there, but now no holiday, we have to study. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, sannyas means satnyas. What is this relation?
Sat means truth.
Acha, is it
Nyas,
sat? Okay.
Sat means truth. Nyas means to give up.
To give up what means?
To give up to give up material propensities.
But that you
To
don't
give up
disprove, no?
material attachment. In the search of absolute truth, give up material attachment. Utilize everything in Krishna's service.
There was a misunderstanding. Satnyas. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.